Hello everyone and welcome to Cat's Cottage. I'm here this morning. I'm getting me some coffee, topping my cup up, and I'm up early. I'm going to set me up a pot of beans this morning. And I'm going to show some of the folks that actually don't really cook and they say they don't know how to cook. So maybe this will help them out a little bit. And some of you already know all this, but I'm going to talk and show them anyway. Now I'm doing this early because this needs to cook for a while. You can use this kind of a pot, which is a crock pot, or you can use a regular pot. If you use a large pot, excuse me, you're going to have to keep your eye on it. But this one, you'll watch, but not to the degree that you would of just a regular pot. Okay, I've already put a little water in it and got it, plugged it up, got it to warming up. Okay. Now, I'm going to make this. I've decided to do this. I'm going to make this without meat. And last night, I took my pinto beans. This is what I've got, pinto beans. And I put them in a bowl of water to let them soak. Well, first off, when I went through the bag, I just kind of, as the beans come out, I let it, go through my fingers and check, because there might even be a dirt ball in there, that's hard like a bean, but it's dirt. But you want to check for those, and then you can rinse them, and then you put them in a large container, a pot, a bowl, or whatever you got, and put some cold water on the top. I'll fill it all the way up. That way the beans will rise during the night, and this is supposed to stop the beans making so much gas. That's what that's about. Okay. And now I got my pot on high, my crock pot here on high. And I have going to put in, now if I was going to put in the meat, I would do it now. And I would let the meat cook alone with some onion, salt and pepper, and let that meat cook a couple of hours and let it break down. Depending on if you have bone in it, you need to let that bone marrow break down into the soup or the beans or whatever you're cooking. Okay, let me get my onion. Now, I've cut my onion up already. I know I upset some people how I cut up my onion. I don't use a cutting board. Usually, I just cut it up in my hand. But I've cut some onion up, and I'm going to put that in. And now that would cook early on with the meat or the bone. If you don't even have any meat and you just have a bone, like a ham bone or something that left over from a dinner, you could put that ham bone in there and let that cook down. Now I've got some jalapeno cut up, but I'm saving this for my cornbread later tonight. I'm gonna put this in my cornbread, and this will be the cornbread that I make later. I don't go the route of the old-fashioned. You can, maybe, you want to look that up and see how to do that. But I just use Jiffy Mix. It takes an egg and some water, or even some milk if you want to. And you might experiment with putting a half spoon or spoonful of sugar in it. I've done that before. Or some coconut milk, something like that. But this is what I'm going to fix later. Okay, I've got that sitting on the counter. Get everything ready in the morning, set it out, get it ready. Because sometimes I think about it, and I thought, oh, I forgot, I got to use that. Let me put that on the counter. And that's the way I've always done. You don't have to be like that. But I'll sit out I'll sit out my egg, go to room temperature, in the shell, leave it in the shell. I set my bowl there. I set my box of Jiffy Mix. I lay my peppers there, and eventually sometime passing in the day, I'll see them, and then I'll cut them up, and I'll leave them there. But that's the way I've always worked. So I don't forget anything. I have cooked things and like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. I forgot that. So this way, I don't seem to forget things that go in there. But anyway, I've got water in here, and now you saw me put in those onions. Now I'm going to put in the beans. But first, this is what I'm going to use instead of meat. I'm going to use a can of or natural, original. It's got its salt. It's got its fat. It's got everything in it. There's no point in putting broth in there that has no fat in it, because it's just, you're just putting water in there. But anyway, I'm going to put as soon as that lid pops up, I'll stop. Well, it didn't pop up. Okay. Now, this is my broth, and I'm going to put it into the water. That's my flavoring. That is my flavoring. And it seems kind of odd to put chicken broth in beans, but it works. It has a good flavor. And it doesn't taste like chicken. Okay. Now we're going to add our beans. And I haven't put that much water in it originally, so I could add the beans. I've already washed them, checked them and washed them. Out a spoon. There we go. Stir it a little bit. Now, I'm not going to salt and pepper this yet. I'm going to let this sit there a little bit. Let it cook a little bit. And then I'm going to see how salty it is, because you don't know what was in that can or how much salt is in that can. So, but anyway, I'm going to put the lid back on. And that's onion and broth and beans. Those are pinto beans. Little, the small red bean? That's pinto beans. And I'm going to cook those today. And I'm going to come in here occasionally. I'm not just going to let this thing go because it's a crock pot. I've got to come in and check it. And if you're going to put it on and go to work or leave the house or whatever you're going to do, if I'm going to the grocery store or shopping or something, I just turn it off and I let it stay cooking on its own heat. And as soon as I get back, and don't forget, is you put it back up. Now, here's something I do because I don't want to mess up. Is I've taken a marker and I've marked my high spot. This is a warm and this is a keep warm. This is a low and this is a keep warm. I've marked my high spot so I can see it, because that's where I want to go. Before, you can hardly see the letters. You have to just turn the light on and squinch and carry on to try to find the off and all that. But this is on and this is my high. And there's where I keep pushing till the light comes on my high spot. Okay. Well, that's about all I'm doing here right now. And I'm going to just sit back, finish my cup of coffee, and wish y'all all a wonderful day. Bye-bye.